Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host Gamer K, and it's the final video for the month of January to start off 2023 by ending the month. And I'm going back to something I don't think I've done in quite a long while, which is a DLC review. And yeah. This one's going to be painful to go through. I am going to be going through, even though it is my heritage, I can't stand Assassin's Creed Odyssey. It's one of the only Assassin's Creed games that I played it once, and only once. The other games are enjoyable to replay. This one is insufferable, annoying, God-stakingly boring. And when the DLC Legacy of the First Blade came out, I was a little hopeful that, yes, we finally get some assassins in this. And then, yeah, I played it. And instead of doing, I'm going to do what I always do with DLC episodes and do episode by episode. And in this instance, I'm going through episode 1, Hunted. I'm dreading this. I'm really... I'm not even acting right now. It's not even scripted. I'm not acting like this. This is how I actually feel about the DLC. So, I guess a couple months after the whole Cult of Cosmos thing, which, again, if I ever do one, they're going on the list for one of the worst villains ever group. So, I don't exactly remember all of it, and I've got a pretty good memory. So I had to, watch it all over again this week to understand a little bit more, to remember, and nothing was coming to memory. Let's see, I'm really going to need my notes for this one. So, the DLC came out in 2018, about a couple months after Odyssey came out, a good number of months, where we are introduced to Nakatas and his father Darius, who is a hidden one. We finally get something of an Assassin's in an Assassin's Creed game. I think I'm just realizing this right now, that Odyssey is the only Assassin's Creed game to have nothing to do with the Assassins, the Templars, the Hidden Ones, or the Order of Ancients in the main story at all until this DLC. So, we get the story of a new evil threat well, not evil, because, yeah, they have been the villains throughout every single game. The Order of Ancients, the Persia division, who has also come in contact with the Grecian world. Now, I had to look this up for information. Yeah, the Cult of Cosmos is their completely own sect of villain. And yeah, the Cult of Cosmos and the Order of Ancients did a deal to kind of help each other out, until they discovered that the cults, what's the word I'm looking for? Their scheme to create war within the Grecian war, which the Order did not like, considering technically they do a lot worse, but yeah, to cause conflict for, they're basically the same, except the Cult of Cosmos are absolutely dreadful. So the cult has come looking for Darius because the whole Order of Ancients, Hidden Ones thing, that. And during this whole thing, again, it's obviously revealed that Okay, yeah, I played Cassandra as my game because I got so sick and tired of playing as a dude character all the time. But I prefer it. Cassandra is a tainted one, or one of the Isu people, or for those of you who better known, the people who came before, aka the people who project themselves like Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars Episode 1. Wow, I never thought I'd make a Phantom Menace joke for a good reason. So, it turned out that Darius is one of the very first hidden ones. Which I kind of like. I kind of like how we're getting a little bit of story and background into the hidden ones during this, because the only thing about the hidden ones we know came from Origins and Odyssey. Valhalla. Yeah, there we go. So Darius killed Xerxes the First, who was a corrupt king in Persia. Let's see. So throughout this episode, we are being literally hunted by a set of the Order of Ancients Persia division, which a set called the Hunters. That's kind of self-explanatory, but okay. And there are 7 members, and we track them down as we normally do within this game by finding clues in certain places, because in the Order of Ancients section, which is the Cult of Cosmos, and you just hit the extra button. So you find the clues, you unveil certain Order members, you find them, you kill them, and we get a little bit of their backstory a little bit. At the same time, they're just as boring as fighting the Cult of Cosmos. Like, there's okay, some of them you find throughout the story mission, the main story mission, but on others you have to do like the side. And some of them are interesting, but I just feel like they're absolutely boring. Like, there's no white room. There's no talking with them about their philosophy or anything. And I think a big reason for that is because they didn't do it for the Cult of Cosmos. Also, we're not a hidden one, and we don't have a hidden blade. It kind of removes that kind of aspect about it. So yeah, hunting them down again feels so much like the cult again, except these are the better villains, but they treat them almost the exact same. And also, every episode of the game takes place in every episode of this DLC takes place in a certain part of the Grecian map. So it's not like we have to go all over the map to find these guys. They're basically in a certain section, which I'm okay with. So it's not overly drawn out like the main game. Let's see. So there are 7 members in this section. Like I said, some you find during the main mission, some you don't. And then the big boss at the end of the episode, which is a pretty good boss fight. I'm not gonna lie. Where Odyssey lacked in basic storytelling and build-up, they really make up for it with the fights. It's one of my favorite parts of the series. So yeah, my big complaint about the Order of Ancients here is it just feels blah. And a lot of that can be said for the extra shit in this DLC. It doesn't really it's just, the side stuff is completely forgettable. And here's the problem with that. There are 11 main missions in this DLC, and there's 12 side missions. And I'm usually good at remembering the side missions because they're somewhat funny, they're somewhat enjoyable. But again, it feels like Odyssey. The Odyssey of this game has the ability to suck the joy out of side missions and anything else in this game. Oh my God. Because none of them are memorable. Barely any of them. Also, choice does, again, Odyssey's bizarre choice mechanics. I mean, yeah, they're done fantastic in Valhalla, but in here, it's really stupid. Like, the one part where you have to track down the physician for a main story mission, and it's chosen between two people. Like, we can all guess who it is, but why is a choice here? I mean, any idiot with a brain cell and a half could figure out who it is, but we still have a choice of who we attack or accuse. And it just doesn't make sense. It's just like in the main game when we had to kill the priestess of Aphrodite, Dione, but apparently she has a twin sister, and okay, to be fair, whoever you play as kind of gets to get laid with her. So, yeah. Like, choosing which one is 50-50 here. Like, that one's, like, impossible to do unless you kind of know what you're doing and pay attention. But here it's pretty obvious. So there's no real reason to have the choice section here. Oh. And also, I honestly don't know what else to say. I mean, okay, yeah, I've talked about the shitty parts of the first episode of this DLC, but are there some good parts? Maybe? I mean, there's an ability called the Death Veil, where after we assassinate a character, an enemy, they vanish, they completely disappear. So that kind of makes the stealth sections a little bit easier. And you can use it throughout the rest of the DLCs too. So that kind of works a little bit. And you get a new ability every DLC, but I think they're kind of going off on what made Assassin's Creed 3 DLC really good, where every episode we gain a new ability. But it's one of the few good things in this DLC. And also Darius's backstory. And also there is one scene that is really well done where we're led by a child to this kind of wasteland area with this hanging tree of dead victims. And he was led there by a member of the Order, the Madman, who's almost like the second in command to the Hunter, who's the main threat. And there's this scene where all the townspeople hate us for killing these people who are their relatives, friends, and stuff. And we have a choice to either talk them down and not fight them, or when you run out all the good options and then there's the last one to fight, you can just let the timer go away. And I don't think it really matters because you end up fighting them anyway, or maybe not. I can't remember. But the image of the tree and everything is really, really well done. And it kind of plays a little bit into our character, that they're not a monster, or are they? Like, it's kind of a moral thing. But it doesn't really it doesn't really lead to anything spectacular, which sucks. But at the same time, so like I said, main missions are okay. Side missions are really forgettable. Darius is a great character, and so is Natakas, his son. Or, okay. I was trying to hold off this part until episode 2, but it caused a bit of controversy on some people when the episode 2 came out, so I'm just gonna frickin' go for it. Depending on which character you picked, Alexios or Cassandra, Darius's child switches genders from a female if you picked Alexios, and Darius if you picked Cassandra. Yeah, you can all sense where this is going, can't you? Yeah, it's a forced romance for no reason. So, yeah. But story-wise, I kind of get it in terms of story. Now, so pretty much getting right down to it. Hunted takes about 3 to 4 hours to complete if you're really good. I mean, otherwise it takes you, I don't know how long it took me. But at the same time, it feels longer than it needs to be. Or it needs to be longer, but in a good sense. Like, have the missions mean something. Have the side missions be very unique and stuff, but some of them feel like very the same shit that you've been doing all main game. Sorry for my voice, ladies and gentlemen. I've just been a little under the weather today. But yeah, Hunted is okay. And it's got some obvious issues. It's got some obvious big design elements that don't really work. For example, in this, why aren't we playing as Darius? I mean, yeah, I know he's an old man and everything, but it's not the first time we played an old man in Assassin's Creed. Forgive me, Ezio, I'm just making a point. Just making a point. Case in point, they missed a big opportunity of us coming to Greece, working with Cassandra or Alexios, but we're the ones taking them out. That way, we could get the White Room effect and talk to the Hidden One members. I mean, the Order members in a better way. So, because I think that would have made a little bit more sense to do that, but of course they didn't want to have to animate Darius or anything, probably, and our character was already there, so yeah, it's definitely something that's definitely hit and miss. And plus, aside from the Death Shroud ability and the final the boss fight, and I actually like the Order of Ancient members here, I just wish that they had personality. I like, they all feel like cookie cutter, which sucks. So, and again, to be completely blunt, side missions are forgettable. Main mission feels repetitive, except for a couple cool bits here and there. The story is not the worst I've ever seen in a DLC. The length isn't too bad, but it could have been utilized better. And the fact that there's 2 more episodes, which I'll be going over them like later this year. I will definitely finish this DLC series by the end of the year because I'm not going through this in 2024. So overall, GamerK's final verdict for Assassin's Creed Legacy of the First Blade Episode 1 Hunted. I'm debating whether or not what to give this, but going over it again, it's a 6. It deserves a 6, mostly because, for all the reasons I stated, it's overly boring, it's overly repetitive, and but the fact that there are only a couple good bits, and it's an Assassin's Creed game, for Christ's sake, why isn't this better? So, that's what I think. What do you guys think? Did you enjoy it? Do you agree with some of my points? Do you have some of your own gripes? Well, we'll see. I'll see you guys on the next DLC video. Like, comment, subscribe down below, and join me next time where it's the month of romance, and we're starting it off with a video game that is by a company that I love near and dear to my heart, despite their lack of games, and we're going to join. Actually, it's not the first time I've talked about this game company games. Join me where we start off February by A Tale of Two United Souls. This is Gamer K, logging out.